Yo, what's happening guys? Welcome back to Tokimotive. I forgot to film my intro. But I'm out in the shed, I'm doing a health check on the wagon because I just managed to get a spot for the Raleigh event that I went to last year, the private event. Just chill vibes, maximum 30 cars. Fantastic event. I can't wait to go again and hopefully capture the vibe even more. But Wagon's done 2 Archie sessions on 1 oil change, so I'm doing an oil change on it and checking out some things. First thing, lower lock on the coilovers come loose, but moist. I've actually blown the seals out of the coilover, which they're not old. Considering my last lot of PEDs, my last lot of max speeding rods, I got 5 years out of drifting and daily driving. Never got a leak. The only time that they ended up failing was I went sideways over a ripple strip that was missing a giant chunk and slammed the backside of the wheel, and it managed to bend the bottom of it. I've had pillow tops wear out, but that's a common issue with these coilovers and they're pretty cheap to fix. I do have one spare, the one that survived, which is nearly 7 years old now, but it doesn't leak, so I'll probably replace the center of the coilover. And I have an idea to stop them ever spinning the lower lock again, because they bind up the pillow top a little bit and then they spin the lower. So my idea is, because I've got a whole second set, get another one of these locks, wind it on, and then crank them against each other, against this, that should act like a lock nut and stop them from ever wandering and undoing. I figure it's worth a go because it's using stuff that I've got. And then I'll take this leaky one as a spare when I go to Raleigh, just in case, because I'd rather a leaky coilover than a broken one. And if I do the same thing again and like destroy it, I want to have a spare and not chase around for coilovers and then find out they're completely blown and have zero dampening and bounce all over the place again. Main reason I picked up the camera right now is I've had a little thought of, this motor is full send. If you watch the videos, you know this motor is a full send motor. Completely unknown, came out of an ex-Archie car, oil coked for days. I pulled it out, took one head bolt out, chucked an ARP head stud in. Did that all the way around, torqued them all down to spec, and now it's seeing 16 PSI boost. It's got a massive cam, the largest hydraulic option that Crow offers, the TX2. And I've beaten the crap out of it so far. Like, this motor took a solid 45 seconds of time running to build oil pressure because it wouldn't build oil pressure cranking. Realistically, this motor should be dead, but it's not. It's not. It keeps living. I've even overheated it 120 degrees Celsius plus, boiled it fully, just topped it up and went again, and it just loves life. I've got the oil that I've just dumped out from the oil change. I've got a paint filter. So my thought is, I'm going to run it through that and see what, if any, little bits of metal or grit are built up in there. At the end of the day, I hope that there isn't anything severe in there because I kind of just want to keep sending this thing. But I know if I can see that there's major bearing wear, I'm gonna want to pull it down because I don't have many spare RB30 cranks anymore. I don't know if I should look at this, but for the sake of it, I'm gonna, because I'm curious. Hopefully, this doesn't mean going down the rabbit hole on something I don't want to do. End of the day, oil pump and rings, I could slap the forge motor back together with everything I have here. Decisions. Anyway, let's not think about that, and let's see what this oil comes out like and see how many bits of stuff are in there. Remember, always paint a line on your waste oil containers so you don't accidentally pour them in your car. Never tried this, so this might be a new method. You think about how fine a paint filter is, should give a very good indication of what is going on in the motor. Just all the bubbles. Brake clean should get rid of all the oil, and then I can see if there's any metal left over. Honestly, most of that stuff probably came from stuff washing off of the cross member, because the cross member's quite dirty. But none of that looks metallic. Collected a little bit of shit out of there. I'll see if I can get that onto a piece of paper towel or something. Or a piece of paper. Be back. Alright, so I had to tear it apart, but this should give me a good idea. It all just looks like crumbs of dirt. Yeah, none of that's metallic at all. All I got's some little pieces of dirt from where the oil's run over the cross member when I took the oil filter off. That's it. It's like, colour me frickin' surprised. I'm incredibly impressed that this motor is still actually so healthy. It runs mint, drives mint, and as you've just seen, there's no sign of metal in the oil, which I could tear the filter apart, but generally if you have metal in the oil, you at least have some form of sparkle to the oil and a little bit of metal floating around. Like, you don't have 100% pickup into the oil filter for it to even filter. So maybe I'll get excited and tear the filter apart, but I think it's mint, honestly. Thing has done good. I just got to replace that coilover. Maybe it'll get a good set of coilovers one day. Maybe I also won't be broke. Well, I'm pretty toasty, so I've got music cranking. Obviously not right now because copyright will screw me. I'm sort of enjoying the atmosphere out here, listening to some tunes. And as much as I couldn't be bothered before, I'm going to swap this coilover. That's the thing with cheap coilovers, cheap products. Where you sacrifice on price is also where you sacrifice on quality control. It is what it is, but I have a spare, so I'm going to throw that in. At the moment, that one's leaking, but it still drives fine. So it's going to work well for a spare, and then I can use this one in it right now and have it actually drive right. Although I haven't noticed much of a difference, I'd rather go into everything I'm doing with the best possible outcome and then have the second best as a backup. Anyway, I'm going to have fun editing this because I'm rambling, because I'm nice and toasty. But it's okay. I'm going to crank up the tunes. I'm going to set up a little time lapse. If it's interesting, you'll see it. If it's not, well, I'll talk to you afterwards. Alright guys, I'm going to get this thing sort of sorted so I can actually drive it and drive it hard. Because what else is a beta car for? taxi for tonight. Surprisingly. Replaced the coilover and done that double lock idea that I've got. Basically treat the lock collars like a lock nut because I've got 2 sets of them, so why the hell not? I think it is going to do the trick. So if the coilover top, the pillow top, ever binds up again, it's not just going to crack off the base height adjustment area. It's not going to loosen that and cause it to become all loose and floppy in the front end again. Next thing I think I want to do tonight, my pretty wheels. As much as a lot of people think they're probably ugly as sin, they suit the wagon perfectly. I'd love to complete the set, but I literally have to order a set from Japan and then rebuild the front in 5-stud because they are literally the only 17-inch center of them in 4-stud in existence. Like, I have not seen another one. Can't find it on Yahoo auctions. Can't find it anywhere else. And every person that I have met that has had a 17-inch center of these wheels exactly in a 4x114, they're the same set of wheels. Literally, the exact same set of wheels. They're like, I own those wheels. Eventually I will complete them, which means I'll have to go even crazier with the rear guards. But for now that I lowered the rear and put the softer springs in, they no longer fit. If you keep up to date with my older videos, you would have seen I literally went down to the next intersection from my house and they were bellowing smoke. They were touching that hard. So, hammers. Rear arches are already haggard as hell, and the rear quarter's been beaten in at archy. So, my solution, I'm just going to wail on the thing with a hammer until I get it as flat and as much clearance as possible. And hopefully, my pretty wheels fit. And I actually get the fitment that I want. If you want to see me potentially destroy my hands again with a hammer again, stay tuned. Because I'll time-lapse it. Alright guys, I'm going to crank the tunes again, get cracking into it, and hopefully I can fit pretty wheels again. My solution for making sure that they fit before I put the car down, I'll just chuck the wheels on, jack the diff up, and then try and spin them. If they're touching, I know they're definitely going to touch while I'm driving. I'm going to get into it, and hope you guys enjoy. That's an outro thing. Never mind. That's with the wheel, that's with the diff all jacked up. With any luck while driving, this will be enough clearance. I'm hoping. Diff's all the way jacked up. We're not touching so far. So, hopefully that has done the trick. I really need to bog that. Oops. May have gone pretty far with this. But I want my good wheels to fit. So hopefully that's enough, because put a lot of hours into getting this to hopefully fit and work. Trying to find the balance of functional suspension that grips, but also being low and looking fat. Bit of a challenge, especially on a live axle car where it goes up and down. There's no camber ramp in as it squats. It's just 0 degrees of camber all the time. So I now get to go on to the other side, but before I do that, I'm going to test fit it. I thought I had the other side mint. Also turns out when I swapped the springs out the rear, I forgot to adjust the adjustable panhard. So that side was mint until I shuffled the diff over to be center again, and now it's definitely not. And yeah, oh, is what it is. I'm going to keep cracking with it rather than doing, you know, an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours worth of time lapse. You'll see. Yeah, tough. I really want to complete this set, because them with like the 215s instead of the 225s fit perfect. I've got just that perfect amount of poke. But that I'm still happy with. Rocking the invisible caravan look, but like that fitment is tight. But no sound of contact, and the car rolls freely. Again, rolls so smooth. You can see just how far that I've pushed that out. Like it's even adjusted that seam there. I probably went a little bit nuts on it, but it is what it is. And this door, like, look at it. That's like some Stancy boy sort of shit right there, but that's okay. You see? Now that needs a firm mitt. Alex has said he has a rear bumper for me. It's just white, so I have to clean it up and, you know, make it a colour that fits. Hopefully that just works mint and I don't have issues. I don't care if it touches and scrubs a little bit over heavy bumps. Just as long as it doesn't do what it did before, where it was just bellowing smoke driving down the road. Like I literally got to the next intersection down from my house. So, as long as it doesn't do that, we're all good. I don't care if it touches a little bit. As long as I can still get into it, give it a good boot full, and it won't just brrr and dig into the tyres, we're all good. Whew. And I had to do a bunch of stuff re-bolting up the exhaust, because apparently I'd lost 2 bolts out of the exhaust on the flanges, and one of the mount bolts, both sides of it, had rattled loose, so anyway, hopefully the thing is running and driving mint, and it means it's sorted for Raleigh and I don't have to stress about it in the next month. Like, I can only hope. But yeah, I guess I'll see tomorrow if all the flaring and clearancing has done the trick and I can run my good wheels again. Hopefully, because, you know, I want my car to look good, not look like, oh yeah, I see you have skidders on the back. Scrubbed a little bit. sound like it's coming from the back, does it?
I think so.
What, the...
Yeah.
Maybe. I did bring the rattle gun so I could get in there and if I have to. Well, clearly those wheels do not fit, no matter how much I push the guards to their limit on the upper end. They're not really touching on the lip, but it's just too much tire to fit inside those guards being so low. It is what it is. I'm gonna have to go down to like a 215 40 instead of a 225 45 17 for them, which isn't a big deal. Consistency doesn't really matter going from street wheels to track wheels. As long as my track tires are consistent, I'm pretty okay with the street wheels being a size smaller. That's not a big deal. Doesn't bother me too much. At the end of the day, all I want is to look good, drive nice, and then be a weapon on track that I can beat on all day. And, you know, it loves it. So, not a big problem. I got the other issue sorted. Hopefully that means it's pretty mint and sorted for Raleigh and I don't have to mess with it too much. Anyways, guys, I'm not going to keep you for much longer. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you as always. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts below. And especially if you have another set of those wheels in 17-inch center and 4-stud, I will buy them. Definitely. I want to complete this set, but I think they were a custom make, so unless some magically appear out the woodworks, I'm going to have to go a 5-stud center and order a whole set from Japan, but not much I can do on that. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this and other content, S13 content, all that sort of stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you as always. Thank you. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.